The sound of the alarm alerts the German guards that a prisoner is escaping. Another foolish attempt, a casualty of the Great War. Colditz Castle, a prisoner of war camp commissioned in 1940 to house English, French, Polish and Dutch soldiers, was built of stone, was cold and eerie. So eerily quiet you could hear the wind whistling down the halls. Many prisoners tried to escape, but all attempts failed. Thus, Colditz became renowned as the inescapable fortress. For several months, English officer Pat Reed and other English prisoners built an underground tunnel, carefully hiding its existence from the German guards. The tunnel was cold, was cramped, with barely enough space for a single man to wriggle their body through. Suddenly, when freedom was near, the tunnel collapsed from above, revealing a French prisoner. "What in the world?" said a shocked Reed, as a Frenchman exited the tunnel. "Saboteur! You English are saboteurs!" said the Frenchman. Incredibly, the English and French soldiers dug directly into each other, causing the tunnel to collapse. The commotion alerted the German guards, who immediately found the tunnels, foiling the escape plans of the English and French. After spending a month in solitary confinement, life returned to normal for the prisoners of Colditz. English commanding officer, Colonel Richmond, hosted a meeting between the officers of the four nations. "You will forgive me, gentlemen, if I express myself strongly, but everything in this castle is in a darned awful mess. And what depresses and surprises me most of all is the appalling lack of cooperation between us in this most important subject of escape. That is why I have called this meeting tonight to make a proposition to you, which I hope we will be able to agree to." With the assistance of verbal translators, Colonel Richmond proposed that the officers of each country appoint an escape officer to consider ideas and suggestions and liaise with his fellow escape officers to avoid unintentional interference with a particular plan. The escape officers will be required to have a continuous exchange of information. Anything less would be useless. Well, gentlemen, do we agree? Poland? Yes, good. Netherlands? Good. And you, sir? "I not agree," said the French officer. "Oh? Indeed, why?" The French officers were concerned that too many heads with too many ideas would become problematic for attempted escapes. They insisted that escape plans should be planned and performed in secrecy. After much debate, the English, Dutch, Polish, and French officers came to an agreement. From this moment on, all plans that attempted escape were liaised between the escape officers. From January 1942 until the liberation of Colditz in April 1945, there were approximately 320 attempted escapes, resulting in 5 Polish, 15 Dutch, 22 French, and 14 British home runs, a record unequal in any prisoner of war camp in the 2 World Wars. Standard 3.5 of the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, Use Effective Classroom Communication, was identified as the key component to successful escape attempts in the Colditz Story. However, to effectively liaise with the other 3 nations, Colonel Richmond had to manage the challenging behaviour of the French, Standard 4.3, by acknowledging their culture and ideas, and by forming a mutual agreement. The liaison initiated by Colonel Richmond was evidence of Standard 6.3, engage with colleagues and improve practice. As a commanding officer and leader, Colonel Richmond planned and organised content, Standard 2.2, that benefited each soldier equally and fairly. According to the Code of Ethics for Teachers in Queensland, Colonel Richmond fulfilled the aspect of justice and responsibility. Richmond displayed commitment to a common goal by considering the needs and ideas of all individuals involved. In addition, as the commanding officer, Richmond took responsibility for the communication errors witnessed in previous escape attempts and planned, organised and mediated strategies to help his comrades escape the inescapable fortress, Colditz.